There he is.
Roger, hey, it's great to be with you. Thank you so much. Love the analysis, and I can't disagree. I mean, back in the day when you and I first spoke, right, considered a bit of a long shot. We were the only ones to challenge Mitt Romney back in May of last year. That was my stated goal. I said, we need to unseat this guy. Not only has he not held to his promises that he ran on back in 2018, but the way in which he has been so petulantly opposed to President Trump is just it's unbecoming and not something we want to see here in the state of Utah. And so, yeah, made that announcement. Nobody else came into the race until around October when Mitch said he wasn't going to seek re-election. And when we first announced, he was at about 50% favorability still amongst Republican primary voters. But after putting out our launch video that reminded everybody of these promises he made, he claimed he was going to end illegal immigration, he'd balance the budget, he'd stop federal spending and overreach, and he'd confirm conservative justices. His record is just the opposite. He's rarely here, as you indicated. He doesn't really have a lengthy history in Utah, and the fact that the representation was also pretty weak, just I think we were reminding people of that, and Utahns remembered. And after having a million plus views of our launch video and being on great shows like yours, where people were reminded of the fact of his record, he went down to a good 30% favorability in the polls, and we're feeling very, very fortunate to have all the support that we have, and especially to have the endorsement of President Trump.
You've worked very, very hard to get to where you are. I know there were days in which it looked bleak. You took on a long shot that nobody else would do. Now, of course, that Mitt Romney has withdrawn, well, candidates are coming out of the woodwork, but none of them are Trump Republicans. None of them are MAGA candidates. I'm not asking you to attack your opponents, but give us a quick rundown of who else is now seeking this seat.
Well, and the unfortunate thing, Roger, is that pre 2014 in the state, I would automatically be the nominee. I'd be in the general. And in Utah, we don't have competitive generals. I mean, we'll win Republicans historically, they'll win 10, 15 points in a general election. And so the way that our caucus convention system used to work, and what got us great people like Mike Lee elected back in 2010, is that if you receive 60% of the delegate support, you were automatically the Republican nominee, went straight to the general. We got 70% on Saturday. 70%. It was historic. I mean, we've never seen an open Senate seat garner that kind of delegate support. So we should be right now the nominee. But in 2014, after Mike Lee unseated a three-term incumbent Senator Bob Bennett, the establishment here got scared. They passed what I call the RINO Protection Act, and they allow people to gather signatures, go out and buy their way on the ballot, and force a primary, irrespective of the outcome of the convention. And so that's the landscape right now. Is that I won, overwhelmingly the convention, should be the only nominee, or should be the nominee. But there are three people that gathered signatures, one of which is Congressman John Curtis. We know Congressman Curtis has not been a lifelong Republican. He was chair of the Utah County Democratic Party for a period of time. He was one of 30 Republicans or so that voted for the January 6th committee. He supported the impeachment inquiry of President Trump. He censured President Trump on the House floor, and he also chairs a climate caucus. Uh, I took an oil and gas company, an energy company public. I've got the endorsement among many others of the Oil and Gas Workers Association. I'm not going to be subscribing to climate alarmism in any sense. He's the probably the main competitor, the one with the most name ID as a current congressman. Another individual that made his way on the ballot by buying his way on the ballot is our former state speaker of the House. Um, he's not well known. He spent $3.5 million already in his campaign and polling. We're polling ahead, and had a very convincing win at the convention over him. And then there's another gentleman, a third one, a businessman who really has no political background whatsoever, announced his candidacy 3 months ago, and has a little bit of money that he has thrown at it already. And so those are the three people, in addition to myself, they'll be on the primary ballot. And yeah, June 25th is it. It's kind of a short window, and so we're cranking up after that great endorsement by President Trump on Saturday. I spoke to him again on Sunday to let him know the convention results, and he was happy to hear that. And we uh, we expect to win here June 25th and lock this up again in Utah. Our general election is effectively our Republican primary election, and winning this in the next 7-8 weeks is going to all but guarantee that we will be the next senator here in the state of Utah.
A man who's gone through hell, but he's kept going, and he's smart and he's strong, and people love him. Not everybody, but people love him and respect him. Roger Stone. Where's Roger Stone?
Roger Stone did nothing wrong. They wanna get me like I'm Roger Stone. They wanna get me like I'm Roger Stone. They wanna frame me like I'm Roger Stone. They wanna frame me like I'm Roger Stone.